Did you know there's a food in your pantry right now that could still be edible 100 years from today? And with grocery prices soaring and shelves emptying faster than ever, knowing which foods never go bad might just save your wallet or your life. Stick around. What you're about to see could change how you shop forever. Hey everyone! I've been researching everything from ancient food preservation methods to modern prepper hacks, even talked to a few experts, and what I found blew my mind. Some foods don't spoil, no matter how long they sit on the shelf. In this video, I'm revealing the 20 longest lasting foods you can store at home, including one that archaeologists found still edible in an Egyptian tomb. You'll learn why these foods last so long, how to store them properly, and which ones you probably already have. If you care about saving money, reducing waste, or being prepared for emergencies, this is one list you need to see. Let's start with number 20. Dark chocolate. Dark chocolate might not be the first thing you think of when it comes to survival food, but guess what? It lasts way longer than most snacks. If stored right, dark chocolate can stay good for up to 2 years, maybe even longer. Unlike milk chocolate, which can go bad faster because of the dairy, dark chocolate has less moisture and more cocoa. That makes it harder for mold or bacteria to grow. So as long as you keep it cool and dry, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, just because it lasts doesn't mean it always tastes great after a while. Over time, it might lose some flavor or get that whitish look on the outside. That's called chocolate bloom. It's just the cocoa butter rising to the surface. Still safe to eat, just not as smooth. Dark chocolate is also a mood booster. It has caffeine and other feel-good chemicals, so it's perfect for both your pantry and your mental health. Whether you're prepping for emergencies or just need a sweet treat during a rough day, dark chocolate checks all the boxes. It's also super easy to find. You don't need to go to a specialty store or order online. Just grab a bar next time you're at the grocery store. Look for one with at least 70% cocoa for better shelf life and richer flavor. So yes, dark chocolate isn't just a snack, it's a long-lasting, stress-relieving, delicious piece of history. And we're just getting started with this list. Stick around because things are about to get even more interesting. Number 19, popcorn kernels. Popcorn kernels might not look like much, but they're tough little guys. Stored properly, these tiny golden bullets can last for years, yes, years, without losing their pop. All it takes is dry storage. If you keep them in an airtight container in a cool, dark place, popcorn kernels won't go bad. They just sit there quietly, waiting for movie night to call their name. Here's the fun part. Even if they do get a bit old or seem stale, you can often bring them back to life. Just shake them in a hot pan for a few minutes, the heat dries them out more, and boom, you've got fresh popcorn again. No other snack has this kind of magic. Chips go stale, candy melts, and pretzels lose their crunch. But popcorn? It's like the Houdini of snacks, always ready to escape the dullness of your pantry and explode into something awesome. And let's be real, popcorn is a comfort classic. Whether you're watching a movie, having friends over, or just need a quiet snack while scrolling through life, popcorn hits different. And the best part, you don't need any fancy tools, one pot, a little oil, and you're good to go. It's also super cheap. You can buy a big bag of kernels for just a few bucks and have snacks for weeks. That makes it perfect for budget shoppers, preppers, or anyone who loves a good crunch without breaking the bank. So next up, we're diving into a snack that made a huge comeback recently, one you probably loved as a kid. Yep, we're talking about Twinkies. But before you laugh, there's a reason they became legend. Keep watching. Twinkies are the snack that time forgot, or at least that's what everyone says. The myth? They last forever. The truth? Not quite, but they come close. An unopened Twinkie can stay fresh for up to 45 days. That's way longer than your average cupcake or store-bought donut. And compared to fresh bread or fruit, 45 days is practically a lifetime. So why do they last so long? It's all in the science. Twinkies are baked with preservatives like sorbic acid, which keep mold and bacteria from growing. Plus, their creamy filling isn't made with real cream. It's more like a sweet, airy mix of oils and sugars that doesn't spoil easily. Now, let's talk about that comeback. Twinkies disappeared from shelves for a bit a few years back, and people lost it. There were news stories, social media outcries, even conspiracy theories. When they came back, it was like rock star status. Canned tuna is one of those foods that just gets it. It's cheap, it's tasty, and it lasts way longer than it has any right to. Store it in a cool, dry place, and canned tuna can last anywhere from 3 to 5 years, sometimes even longer. That makes it perfect for emergency kits, camping trips, or just keeping around for quick meals when you're too tired to cook. It's also packed with protein, which is a big deal if you're trying to stay full, stay healthy, or survive on what's in your pantry. One can of tuna gives you a solid dose of nutrients without needing to plug in anything or turn on the stove. And let's not forget how versatile it is. Tuna salad, easy. Tuna melt, delicious. Mix it into pasta or throw it on a sandwich. Either way, it gets the job done without asking for much in return. Most canned foods last a while, but tuna stands out because of how easy it is to use. No soaking, no boiling, no waiting, just open and eat. That kind of convenience is rare in the world of long shelf life foods. Plus, it doesn't take up much space. You can stack a few cans in your cupboard and forget about them until you really need them. And when grocery prices are high and time is short, having something like canned tuna on hand is a small win that actually matters. So next up, we're going back to the basics. Something that's been fueling humans for centuries and still shows zero signs of slowing down. Yep, we're talking about instant coffee. Let's see why this cup of fake brew might be more useful than you think. Instant coffee might not win any awards for taste, but when it comes to lasting forever in your pantry, it's a total rock star. Unlike fresh ground coffee or beans, instant coffee has had almost all the moisture removed. That means no mold, no bacteria, and no nasty surprises waiting in your cup years from now. Stored in a sealed container in a cool, dry place, instant coffee can last up to 20 years. Yes, 2 decades. It won't taste as good after that long, but it'll still be safe to drink. So if you've got a jar from college sitting in the back of your cabinet, no need to toss it just yet. It's also super easy to use. Just add hot water and boom, coffee in seconds. No filters, no machines, no mess. That makes it perfect for camping trips, emergency kits, or lazy mornings when you can't be bothered with real brewing. And let's be honest, most of us don't have time for barista level coffee every day. Instant is quick, cheap, and gets the job done. Plus, it's lightweight and doesn't take up much space, so it's great for stocking up without breaking the bank. While it might not be the fanciest pick on this list, instant coffee has staying power. Literally, it's one of those foods you can count on even when life feels unpredictable. So next up is one of the saltiest, most powerful flavor bombs on the planet. And it can sit in your pantry for years without blinking. We're talking about soy sauce. Let's see how something so simple can last so long. Soy sauce might look like just another bottle in your fridge, but it's actually a flavor powerhouse with some serious staying power. Made from fermented soybeans, wheat, salt, and water, soy sauce is packed with sodium, which acts like a natural preservative. That means an unopened bottle can sit on your shelf for up to 3 years and still be totally fine to use. Once opened, it doesn't go bad either. You can keep it in the fridge for at least a year and it'll still do its job of making everything taste better. Sure, the flavor might fade a little over time, but it won't spoil or make you sick. It's also one of those ingredients that makes boring food exciting. A splash of soy sauce can turn plain rice into something delicious or give your stir fry that rich, savory kick. And since it's so cheap and widely available, there's no reason not to keep a bottle around. Soy sauce is proof that sometimes the simplest ingredients are the most useful. It doesn't need refrigeration before opening, it never really expires, and it punches way above its weight in flavor. So if you're looking for a pantry staple that adds big taste without any hassle, soy sauce is a total MVP. Up next is one of the oldest kitchen staples on the planet, something that doesn't just last forever, but has been used for thousands of years to preserve food, flavor dishes, and even wage wars. Yep, we're talking about vinegar. Let's see why this sour liquid is a long-life legend. Vinegar is one of those kitchen heroes that never gets the credit it deserves. It's cheap, it's versatile, and best of all, it doesn't go bad. Thanks to its high acidity, vinegar is a natural preservative. Bacteria and mold can't survive in it, which means your bottle of apple cider vinegar or white vinegar could technically last forever. Seriously, you could pass that bottle down through generations and it would still work just fine. You might notice it getting cloudy over time or developing a weird stringy thing they call the mother. Don't panic, that's totally normal. It's just a sign it's raw and unpasteurized. You can strain it, shake it up, or just keep using it like usual. Vinegar does more than just sit on your shelf. You can use it for cooking, cleaning, pickling, and even beauty hacks. A splash adds flavor to salad dressings, sauces, and marinades. And if you're into DIY home fixes, it's like liquid gold for wiping away grime without harsh chemicals. Because it lasts so long, buying in bulk makes total sense. No need to keep repurchasing when that one bottle keeps giving. Just store it in a cool, dark place and forget about it until you need it. So, next up is one of the most underrated breakfast foods out there, something that can stick around for years without losing its punch. We're talking about number 13, rolled oats. Let's see how this humble grain became a storage superstar. Rolled oats are the quiet overachievers of the breakfast world. They're healthy, cheap, and if stored right, they'll stick around for years without going bad. Unlike fresh fruit or dairy, rolled oats don't need to be kept cold. As long as they're in a sealed container and away from moisture, they can last up to 30 years. That's not a typo, 3 decades. So whether you're prepping for emergencies or just trying to cut down on grocery trips, oats are a no-brainer. They're also super versatile. You can make hot cereal, bake them into cookies, blend them into smoothies, or even use them as a binder in meatloaf. One ingredient, endless uses, so that's value you can count on. And let's not forget the nutrition. Oats are full of fiber, protein, and important minerals. They keep you full longer, which is a win for anyone trying to stretch meals or avoid constant snacking. Because they're so lightweight and compact, storing large amounts isn't a problem. A few sealed buckets in your pantry can feed you and your family for years. No refrigeration needed, no special tools required. Just dry storage and a little planning. Oats might not look like much, but they're one of those foods that quietly get the job done. Long shelf life, big nutrition, and total flexibility. Up next is one of the most powerful thickening agents in your kitchen. Something that doesn't spoil, doesn't complain, and will always come through when you need it. Yep, we're talking about cornstarch. Let's see why this pantry staple is basically immortal. Cornstarch is one of those kitchen tools that doesn't ask for much, and in return, it lasts practically forever. As long as it stays dry, cornstarch won't go bad. No mold, no weird smells, but just pure powdery thickening power. Store it in an airtight container, keep it away from moisture, and you'll never have to toss it out. It's the secret behind creamy sauces, smooth gravies, and perfect puddings. A little goes a long way, which means one box can last you months, months, or even years if you use it wisely. Unlike flour, which can go rancid over time, cornstarch has no oils to break down. That makes it ultra stable and perfect for long-term storage. You don't need to freeze it or rotate it like other pantry items. Just keep it sealed and forget about it until you need it. And because it's so cheap and widely available, buying extra is always a good idea. Whether you're making dinner on a rainy night or prepping meals for an emergency, cornstarch is the silent hero that gets the job done. It's also a favorite for gluten-free cooking. Since it's made from corn and contains no wheat, it's a safe option for anyone avoiding gluten but still wanting rich, thick textures in their food. So next up is another snack with some serious staying power, something that's been fueling hikers, campers, and survivalists for years. We're talking about jerky. Let's see why this dried meat is built to last. Jerky is proof that sometimes the best way to preserve food is to just take all the moisture out. And when you do that right, you get a snack that can last for months, sometimes even years. Beef jerky, turkey jerky, even plant-based versions, they all have one thing in common: low moisture. That's what keeps them from spoiling. Without water, bacteria and mold can't grow, which means your jerky stays good way longer than your average sandwich meat. If it's vacuum sealed and stored in a cool, dry place, jerky can last up to a year, maybe more. Once opened, it still holds up pretty well as long as you keep it sealed and don't leave it in your car during summer. It's also packed with protein, making it a go-to snack for hikers, campers, and anyone trying to stay full between meals. One small bag can give you a big boost of energy without weighing you down. And let's not forget the flavor. Salty, smoky, spicy, sweet. There's a jerky for every taste. It's not just survival food, it's comfort food too. So next up is one of the most underrated dairy alternatives out there, something that can sit on your shelf for years and still give you the calcium you need. We're talking about powdered milk. Let's see why this old school staple is still worth having around. Powdered milk might not be the first thing you grab at the store, but it's one of those foods that quietly does its job and lasts forever while doing it. Unlike fresh milk, which goes bad in days, powdered milk has had all the moisture removed. That means no spoilage, no sour smells, and no mad dash to the trash bin before it turns on you. Stored properly in a sealed container, powdered milk can last up to 20 years. Yes, 2 decades. That makes it a top pick for emergency kits, long-term storage, or just keeping around for when the grocery store is out of regular milk. It's also packed with nutrients, calcium, protein, vitamins. You get all the good stuff without needing to plug anything in or keep it cold. Now, let's be real. It's not going to win any taste contests, but mixed with water, it gets the job done. And if you're baking or cooking, you won't even notice the difference. It blends right into pancakes, baked goods, and even soups for a sneaky nutrition boost. Because it's lightweight and doesn't take up much space, storing a few cans is easy. You don't need a special pantry or fancy equipment, just a cool, dry place and a little planning. So next up is one of the most colorful, longest-lasting canned goods in your kitchen. Something that brings flavor, nutrition, and staying power all in one can. We're talking about canned vegetables. Let's see why these bright bites are built to last. Canned vegetables are like the unsung heroes of the pantry. Colorful, nutritious, and built to last way longer than their fresh cousins. Think about it, fresh veggies go bad in days, but canned ones, they can stay good for 2 to 5 years. Sometimes even longer if the can stays sealed and undamaged. The secret is the canning process. Vegetables are cooked and sealed in airtight containers, which kills bacteria and keeps them safe to eat for years. As long as the can isn't dented, rusted, or bulging, what's inside is still perfectly fine. And don't knock them just because they're not fresh. Canned veggies still pack a punch when it comes to vitamins and fiber, especially if you choose low-sodium versions. You can throw them into soups, stews, casseroles, or even eat them straight from the can if you're in a pinch. No judgment here. They're also super convenient. No washing, no chopping, no peeling, just open and cook. That makes them a lifesaver on busy nights or when you're stuck without power during an emergency. Because they're so affordable and widely available, stocking up on canned vegetables is easy. Just rotate your stash every few years to keep things fresh, and you'll always have something healthy on hand. So next up is one of the most basic yet powerful foods out there, something that doesn't spoil, doesn't complain, and has been used for centuries to preserve food and flavor dishes. We're talking about peanut butter, but only if it's unopened. Let's see why this creamy staple sticks around longer than you think. Peanut butter might seem like just a sandwich staple, but if you leave it sealed, it's actually one of the longest lasting foods in your pantry. We're talking up to 2 years, maybe even more, without going bad. That's right, your backup jar of peanut butter could still be good long after you've forgotten why you bought it in the first place. The reason? Low moisture and high oil content. Without much water to support mold or bacteria growth, unopened peanut butter stays safe and stable for ages. The oils keep it smooth, and as long as the lid stays on, nothing really goes wrong. Now, once you open it, things change a bit. Stirred or no stir, opened peanut butter should be used within 6 months to a year for best flavor and texture. But if it's still sealed, toss it in your emergency stash. It'll wait patiently. It's also packed with protein and healthy fats, making it a powerhouse snack when paired with crackers, fruit, or straight from the spoon. No shame. Great for kids' lunches, hiking trips, or those nights when you're too tired to cook anything else. And let's not forget the nostalgia factor. For a lot of people, peanut butter is comfort food at its finest. Whether you grew up spreading it on toast or mixing it into your bedtime oatmeal, it's got that warm, familiar feel with serious shelf life. So next up is one of the simplest, most powerful survival foods ever made, something that's been feeding armies and explorers for centuries. We're talking about hardtack. Let's see how this rock-solid cracker became a legend in long-term storage. Hardtack might not win any awards for flavor, but when it comes to lasting forever in your pantry, it's basically a legend. This simple cracker is made from just flour, water, and maybe a pinch of salt, then baked until it's as dry as the desert. That lack of moisture is what makes it last so long. No water means no mold, no bacteria, and no spoilage. Soldiers during the Civil War and sailors on long voyages relied on hardtack because it didn't go bad. Some bricks of this stuff were found still edible after over 100 years. Try that with your average snack cake. Now, let's be honest. Hardtack isn't exactly a gourmet experience. It's tough, bland, and can double as a doorstop if needed. But soak it in water, broth, or coffee, and it becomes soft enough to eat without needing a chisel. It's also super lightweight and compact, which made it perfect for travel before refrigeration or modern packaging. Even today, it's a favorite among preppers and outdoor adventurers who need food that won't quit on them. And while you might not want to live on it full time, having a stash of hardtack or long life crackers around is smart. They don't rot, they don't attract bugs if stored right, and they can keep you fed when fresh food runs low. So next up is one of the most powerful flavor boosters you can keep in your kitchen. Something that doesn't spoil, doesn't complain, and can turn even the blandest meal into something delicious. We're talking about Bullion cubes. Let's see how these tiny blocks of flavor became pantry gold. Bullion cubes might look like tiny blocks of mystery, but they're actually flavor bombs that don't go bad, at least not for a very long time. Made from concentrated broth, salt, fat, and seasonings, these little guys are dried out so much that bacteria can't grow in them. That means if you keep them sealed and dry, Bullion cubes can last up to 5 years, maybe even longer. 1 cube is all it takes to turn plain water into rich-tasting soup or add depth to rice, stews, and sauces. They're super lightweight, easy to store, and perfect for anyone who wants to make food taste better without buying fresh stock every week. They also come in handy when you're low on time or stuck with minimal ingredients. No fresh veggies? No problem. A Bullion cube can rescue almost any dish and give it that savory restaurant-style kick, and because they're so cheap and widely available, buying a few extra boxes is always a good idea. Store them in a cool, dry place and forget about them until you need a quick flavor fix. So next up is one of the most basic yet powerful foods on the planet. Something that doesn't spoil, doesn't rot, and has been used for thousands of years to preserve food and spice up meals. We're talking about dried beans. Let's see why this humble legume is a survival superstar. Dried beans might not look like much, but they're one of the most powerful foods you can store in your pantry, and they'll stick around for years without going bad. If stored properly in a cool, dry place, and especially if sealed with oxygen absorbers, dried beans can last up to 30 years. That's right, 3 decades. No refrigeration needed, no special equipment, just airtight containers and a little patience. They're packed with protein, fiber, and essential nutrients, making them a budget-friendly way to stay full and healthy. 1 cup of cooked beans can stretch a meal, feed a family, or keep you fueled during an emergency. And unlike canned beans, which come with added sodium and cost more per serving, dried beans are cheaper by the pound and let you control how much salt goes in. Just soak, boil, and you're good to go. Plus, they're incredibly versatile. Use them in soups, stews, chili, salads, or even as a base for veggie burgers. There's a reason cultures all over the world have relied on beans for centuries. They work because they're so easy to find and store. Having a few pounds of dried beans in your pantry is smart. Whether you're prepping for emergencies, trying to cut grocery costs, or just love a good homemade chili night, beans are a quiet powerhouse that never quits. So next up is one of the most basic yet powerful ingredients in your kitchen. Something that doesn't spoil, doesn't rot, and has been used for thousands of years to preserve food and flavor meals. We're talking about white rice. Let's see why this simple grain is a long-term storage legend. Hit that like button if you're adding honey or white rice to your long-term stash. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss another food hack, survival tip, or pantry deep dive. And drop a comment below. What item shocked you the most? Did you find any of these in your pantry after watching? Whether you're prepping for emergencies, trying to stretch your grocery budget, or just love random food facts, hey, no judgment. This list is pure gold.